Greetings, everyone, and Happy New Year. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Album Homework Assignment. In the captain's chairs today, the two that gave each other the assignments, we've got Rick LaBonte from up in Canada, and from Long Island, New York, Jack Toledano. Howdy, folks. Happy New Year's to you. How are you guys doing?
Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year
Pete.
to everybody out there.
Happy New Year, all our viewers. Yes.
That's right. So these two have given each other their assignments. They've had these albums for about a week or so, maybe a little bit more, and they're ready to talk about them. So I'm going to, as always, put the blindfolds on and go round and round again wherever I point. Rick LaBonte is going first today. So Rick, what were you given by Mr. Toledano?
Well, Jack gave me a power metal band and something. I know power metal bands, but I didn't really know this band. In fact, I did discover when we were listening to the album, I didn't hear one of the songs before, but never heard the album, and that was Primal Fear, Unbreakable, 2012. And so it was great because I had no expectation. I didn't even know. I didn't do the research to find out that they're a German power metal band, which I discovered later, because you had to, after you listen to this record, want to know a little bit more. The album runs about 56 minutes, good sound under an hour, and it's pure power metal at your finest. Like, it's my first listening, and I go through some of the tracks, but I couldn't help noticing that it was generic in a way that you've heard this stuff before. It's just packaged in a different way and a great delivery. And I mean, because it reminds me of some of the things of bands that I love about metal. If you love Iron Maiden, I love the dual guitars. You get that in there. I love the tone of the guitar. In fact, I think it reminds me of Jack Wild from Ozzy's No More Tears album. All those pinch harmonics that he does sound just like that kind of feel, right? It's so heavy, so big. In fact, you learn that there's more than one guitar, but actually you hear the one surface guitar mostly through the whole track. So they're either doubling together or they're taking turns, whatever's happening. But the dominant guitar is driven the whole album, actually. And then I also get a sense of some of my favorite vocalist moments, like from Judas Priest, Saxon, Dream Theater, Accept, Halloween, maybe even. And so I thought, even Queensway, I get some of that early vibe of some of the way they approach the tune. So this is all done in a band that's really driven to give the salute to the people before them and carry that banner loud and proud, because that's what it is, loud and proud. There's that enthusiasm they have in the album is definitely there, and they own it. Let me start with the beginning. It's an Unbreakable Part 1. It's just an instrumental orchestration, and the stuff I love about the present 21st century Dream Theater, they do that. Or even like if you go to a metal concert and they have the music in the background before the band blows your head off with the first tune, that build-up music, they had that. And it kind of reminded me like I'm going to a theater or a movie or something like with that epic beginning. So I like that kind of stuff. I love a band that has an imagination that can do stuff. So right away, that was a great impression. And then you knock it out of the park with Strike. You know, great riff. Rocking. One of the things that's very common about this record is all the way through the record to some degree is that double bass drum pattern. At some point in the song, you're gonna get that in there, and they always do it when it needs to change the song up a little bit. It's always when you need something different, they throw in that curveball, which I like it. Strike has a little bit of generic chorus, you know, how everybody's singing unison. And then one of the things I noticed throughout the whole record is how because when you record an album like I am, you're starting to think of how the people put it on record. And the singer would have a bass vocal, then a singing vocal, and then a shouting vocal over the same vocal line. And to that mismatch, the way they mixed it, it sounds incredible, but it must be hard to do live if they don't have the same amount of people singing a backup, because according to the band, just the bass player sings backup and the lead singer does it all, and they had two guests for some of that heavy chorus that you come to know that this band is big on. the big choruses with multiple singers and almost a choir to some of the capacity. And it's really, and they have to, because every instrument is so bombastic and so loud. How are you going to take it over that? You have to have that much more. And I find that that's what they do well. That part of it makes it predictable when you listen to the album, because that is the formula. They got a formula going there. But you like it. If you dig it, you dig it. You know, I can handle 60 minutes of greatness of this formula that it seemed to be working. So Give 'Em Hell, another good rocker. The song that I've already heard before, I'm sure of it, but it was still a new experience to hear it in that running order, was the Bad Guys Wear Black. Maybe I saw the video or something, but I've heard that tune before, but I didn't know who the band was, so that was kind of cool. And then there was Silent, great guitar work. I love how they jam, and then you don't hear the singer for a while, and then he comes in, and these songs are not that long. They're like about 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes of just greatness of stuff, throw it all in there, and you can't get bored if you have an attention disorder. You're not gonna get it with these guys because it goes too quick. It goes by fast. Of course, the Metal Nation, a nice kick-ass tune. I love that tune a lot. I love the riffing. I love the great big choruses. And of course, in every power metal band, they're gonna have to throw some kind of power ballad, right? And that's when the Angels Die, which is probably the longest track, 8:10. I'm okay with that. It's cool. I mean, I love the opening, but it's something just so familiar that we've all had at one point in time, right? Where we heard music like Queen's Right, where they have the acoustic beginning and but they do it really well. And I love the dual guitars. That's a cool picture. And so, yeah, and here's the thing. I don't even know what these guys look like. I'm just hearing a band. Have no idea how they're delivering it. 4-piece, 5-piece, which I would learn later.
German.
Yeah. Wow. They're cool. They got a cool look to them, too. Didn't know. They just... like I said, they remind me some of the greatness of Judas Priest and some of the bands that I already like to hear in a package deal. But the best track, I think, is my favorite. It's the title track, The Unbreakable Part 2. I love that so much. I mean, it definitely didn't last long before, had to find this record even available, because by the time I got to this would probably be side 2 if it was the vinyl days. I'm not sure. I buy CDs, but great singing chorus, and I love the high scream that he does at the very end. It reminds me of some of my favorite people, like Queen's Right and Ian Gillan, for that matter. And then there's marching again. That was the double bass drama they got going on there. It's a little drum fest there. I love that. It was really cool. Born Again got another power ballad somewhat. I guess you got to have another record. But at this point, it's okay. But I'm waiting for another kick-ass tune, and they give it to me, and that's where Blaze of Glory comes in. And great riffing and great, like I said, it has high energy, so I love it. I love the way they sonically has it sound. It's a well-produced album, well mixed. I love every song is treated with high specialty that they did for everyone. And so there is a sound through the whole record, and they close it with Conviction, which is a great closer. Shows them that they can play, and I understand there's bonus tracks if you go get a different package, Japanese version and a digipack. But I think the album ran its course 12 songs. Anything more, then you're just recycling some of it, because they kind of proved what they had to do in those 12 songs. I guess if you're going to get for a deal and you want to get the bonus tracks, could, but you don't have to. This album is complete, 56 minutes of unbreakable rock that is, I enjoyed it. And thank you. I wouldn't probably get it. I'm not that age where I don't just seek out for stuff that want to, like an album cover like that was pretty cool, right? But I don't just go for music for that. I'm just going for something that I'm looking for something original or something different. And what I like about this, it's not necessarily all original in sounding, but it sounds like the greatest bands that I all love, all in one package, So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. I thank you for the homework assignment. I would go on there blindfolded, had no idea that I end up liking it. And so if you ask the question, as we always do, because I know the homework assignment.
That's right. Would you buy it? Would you just maybe listen to it online occasionally, or would you just forget all about it after we're done with this episode?
Oh no! In fact, I had to learn more about the band, and I also got it coming. It should show up in about a week or so. Amazon had it available, $17. Okay, I take it. And so I did that. So I recommend anybody that wants power metal and don't wanna gamble on an album that you're not sure if it's good all the way through. This is one of those good all the way through albums. It's pretty good. So thanks,
As are
Jack.
most of their albums. I mean, this is,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Jack will agree. This is one of those bands where, if someone came to, well, where should I start with Primal Fear? It's like start anywhere because they're all really good. I mean, there are some that are maybe a little bit better than others, but
I can
for the
give you a
most part-
little.
What's
I
that?
can give you a little background as to why I assigned you this one as opposed to maybe one of their other 10 or 12 albums. So when they started out very strong. Their first 4 or 5 albums were killer. Then what happened? They kind of hit a little bit of a valley. So then for me, this was a real comeback album. And not only was it a comeback album, but you go down the list, like the first 8 or 9 songs just really bludgeon you over the head, and they're great. And I thought that would be the best representation of this band that I could give to you to start off with.
Well, it was a good impression. I like it. And like I said, I only recognized one tune. So this was all brand new for me, so it was kind of cool.
And I'm sure Jack, you'll admit, I mean, Rick picked up on a couple of really important things here, even just listening to this one album. He did pick up that they have a formula and that's what they do. And that is the case on all their albums. I mean, you could say that this band, kind of like a Motorhead or an AC/DC, kind of make the same albums over and over again. They kind of do because they have a formula, but they have a lot of different types of songs. You picked up on the big crushing riffs with the pinch harmonics that they do all the time. There's usually, now they have 3 lead guitar players in the band, but it's usually either 2 or 3, and they're terrific. And Ralph Sheepers is an amazing singer.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes. That was
he actually almost joined Judas Priest. I mean, he was up in the running when Halford left the band. I think it was up to him and Ripper Owens, and Ripper Owens got the gig. So,
wow. Well, he definitely could do the job. I mean, I was impressed with his vocal range, and I like the fact that he has his own spin on his own. Like he got his own voice, but that he sang all of these other people's voices to get there. Like how he got, it's like a vocal exercise. He did Bruce Dickinson. He did, Rob Halford. He definitely sang all those vocals before he got onto his own mic and did his own thing. And I like it because they give good, they honor the blast of the past, but they make their music relevant to the time. I mean, they get 2012, and I think it's a very great production for 2012, and I'm glad you got me curious to know more. So what would you give me the next assignment from this band if I like Unbreakable?
I would just go right back and start at the beginning, because that first album is killer. I loved it immediately.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And Pete, you concur?
Yeah. I mean, I like all of them. There's some, like I said, there's some I like more than others, but I think the first 4 or 5 are really strong. And then they had a couple that were kind of, they were good, but not great. And then with this one, they started another kind of trajectory up. And the couple that came after this are also really, really good as well.
Right.
So, but yeah, the first album is really good. I mean, I would definitely get the first album. That's
the same singer, right?
Same singer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good.
No,
the band is basically Matt Sinner, the bass player and backing vocalist, and Ralph Sheepers, lead vocals. They're the mainstays of the band, like all throughout. They've had various guitar players and drummers, but yeah, it's a good band.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
Jack, what were you given?
Okay, so here's the thing. So Rick and I discussed this offline, and he actually gave me a couple choices, and and they were all great choices. So there's and of course, like a dope, I wrote Sons of Anarchy and said I should have said Sons of Apollo, but I have heard them. Black Country Communion, I actually own a couple of their CDs, so I'm very familiar with them. So I said, you know what, give me something that I'm going in totally blind, that I just never heard them. And
Like I did. Like I did.
yeah, so Rick gave me Flying Colors, the self-titled debut album. And yeah, and you know what, I have great things to say about it. So let's start off. So there's 11 songs. Basically, the gist of this band, Flying Colors, and I'm very familiar with Mike Portnoy and Steve Morse. The other guys I didn't know as much, other than Neil Morse was in Dixie Dragons and some other bands. But
actually, Neil's from Spock's Beard.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Steve Morse is from the Dixie Dragons.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Morse, same last name, yeah. But basically, they're a super group. They combine prog rock virtuosity with more of a mainstream appeal and mainstream accessibility, is what I read. And you know what? It's very evident right upon the first spin, you know, with the first couple of songs. So, and what I did was, since I didn't have any familiarity, I basically rated every song on the album. And I won't go through all my ratings, but the lowest rating was Everything Changes at 3.5. Everything was 4 or better. My favorites on the album, Blue Ocean, the very beginning, you know, wonderful bass and keyboard intro, very catchy. I love Casey McPherson's vocals. Great choice. You know, and kudos to Mike Portnoy for suggesting him. You know, he's got like a really good cast of characters and, you know, good wealth of talent for all those bands he's been in. Another one of my favorites, Forever and a Daze. All Falls Down. That's probably the heaviest song on the album. You know, I love the guitar and the drums on that one. And then they give us their big lengthy proggy number in the last song, Infinite Fire, which I really enjoyed it from about the 5-minute on, where it starts to get into like the keyboards and just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, very interesting, songs 2 and 3, Shoulda, Coulda, Woulda, and Kayla. I sense there's like a melding of prog rock with some grunge, and I like that. It was like you know, prog meets Pearl Jam, or Blind Guardian meets Pearl Jam.
It has an alternative vibe, the alternative rock.
I mean, that's
vibe.
kind of where Casey's coming from, right? That's
right. That's his camp. That's his camp, right on. That's his battleground of coming up through the ranks of his career, and put him inside a powerhouse, a band that could do what you observed so far. Is the way I see it. Progressive rock. I call them almost like a progressive pop rock, you know, because they're trying to go for that popular, accessible hooks, like Asia was. You know, if you think about Asia's first album, it had those proggy moments, but it was around a commercial appeal, right, to some degree.
But you know, it's funny. I mean, Asia, I really like them, but I actually like these guys better. Yeah, these guys really kick ass. I mean, you know, Steve Morse doesn't overdo it with the guitar, but then he's there when you need him for those great solos. Neil Morse, I love the keyboard playing. It's great. Casey McPherson, great singer. You know what you're going to get from Mike Portnoy. So,
absolutely.
And you got Dave LaRue on bass,
Dave LaRue. Yeah, Dave LaRue. You know, that bass, they introduce you to that bass right in the beginning of Blue Ocean. You know, after they do that little countdown, which I thought was pretty cool also.
Me too.
So let me think. I'm just trying to see. Love Is What I'm Waiting For has a little bit of a Queen sound to it, which I thought was pretty cool. Better Than Walking Away. It's a little moody, atmospheric, but, you know, more great vocal harmonies. So, you know, I can't say a bad thing about it. It's really, you know, well done. And would I buy it? Hell yeah. I'm actually gonna, now I have to, out of curiosity, I have to go on to their second and third album to see, you know, see what they're
And I
all
like
about.
them.
Which are
And I recommend
just as good.
Yeah.
Jack. And you know what's even great, buddy? Because I loved your observation and all that. And you know how they sound on that record? Just go check out the live DVDs. Well, even if this one it goes live in Europe, what you hear on that record, they duplicate that live,
Oh,
note to
wow.
note. It's what we love about certain bands that can pull it off. It's not all studio trickery, man. They can deliver this stuff live.
I'd
Right.
argue that the live versions are even better.
Yeah, because there's a little more of that they'll carry the room and
Yeah,
there's that.
I think on stage Casey's vocals and even Neil to an extent too. There's more emotion and passion in their vocal delivery live on stage, and it just makes those songs even better. So I'm a big fan of their live albums. I think they're really
good. I'll have to check it out because I'd like to see how they deliver live.
Yeah,
You'll like it. I know you will.
But so now Casey, I understand he also plays guitar, and he appealed to the group because he was, granted he's mainstream pop, but he writes his own material. He doesn't allow himself to get bullied by these commercial, record executive types. Oh no, play what we want you to play.
Yeah, I think the idea behind this band is based on where all the other guys are coming from. They wanted to do something different. They wanted to do something that was a little bit more accessible sounding, given their heavy rock and prog rock and fusion backgrounds. And I think that Flying Colors is kind of like a breath of fresh air out in this day and age. When you look at, other prog bands have tried to do that, to try to be more accessible, but still capture what makes a prog band a prog band. But I think these guys are not afraid to just write catchy songs and forget about doing long keyboard solos and guitar solos. We'll use them as necessary, but just do stuff that it's going to appeal to anybody. And, in a perfect world, if this was, like late 80s, maybe a band like Flying Colors would do very well. In general, it's hard today, right? It's a shame because I think there's some great songs on those studio albums of theirs that people should hear who really don't normally gravitate towards this kind of stuff.
But if there's any band that would be a good conduit to the mainstream, these guys could pull it off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's almost criminal that they're not already bigger than they are. It's almost because the quality that's in there, and everybody brings their A game. That is how they are designed. That's the makeup of every personality here. So it's kind of magic. I think that's why Mike is great at finding the ingredient to make a great band. He knows those people, and you got to keep up with Mike Portnoy. You got to be able to deliver like that, and that's why this album sounds like it does, or the second or the third one. I'm telling you, Jack, they only got 3 albums now, and they always deliver a live album in between, and you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna like it. I'm probably going down that rabbit hole for Primal Fear. You're gonna be going for a ride on that Flying Colors.
You got a little bit more to buy there, Rick.
I see that because the 9th album is the one I got, right?
I'm very hungry. I want to get more into the newer stuff and stuff that I don't know, to expand, because it's funny. So I love putting these playlists together on Spotify, and I have a lot of these long car rides, but you know what? I don't want to get bored of listening to the same stuff all the time. So I do need some new stuff. And that's another great aspect of the show, that, the idea that Jamie came up with, album homework assignment. So I hope I get more of these in the future.
Cool. Yeah, and 2012, both albums came out in 2012. Was that kind of neat, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that is ironic. Yeah.
So
Jack, it sounds like we got a purchase here in your future on the Flying.
Yes, absolutely, definitely.
Very good. We struck it rich on this episode, so very cool. Yeah. So there you have it. Flying Colors, self-titled, and Primal Fear, Unbreakable. We got 2 thumbs up, 2 purchases coming. So that was that's a good job. Well done. You guys both completed your homework assignment successfully. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up, got Rick's new album hitting on February 2nd. Rick, you want to talk about that real quick?
Sure. It's,
February 12th.
you know,
No, that's not the second.
February 2nd. Yeah, that's my second album, but it's a double album at that. So I figured, hey, second month, second day of 2022. Why not? And yeah, it's just stuff I was able to do during the whole 2 years of COVID and having friends from all around the world and in my own country play on it. And yeah, I'm looking forward. The pre-orders will start on the day after New Year's. So that'll be a whole month for anybody who wants to get on the pre-order list. Check it out.
Cool.
All right. Hey, Rick, I want an autographed copy, just so you know.
No doubt, my friend. I get it too, I
Right.
promise.
And Jack's got a brand new YouTube channel. Jack, you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm about 5 episodes in. It's called All or Nada, according to Jack. And granted, you know, I'm throwing a bunch of different topics at you at the moment. And in time, I will organize it a little better, but I'm just trying to get my sea legs, so to speak. And, you know, and I don't want to compete with Pete because I know I can't. You know, I wanted to, you know, have a few different topics. Like there's going to be some, you know, comedy TV shows that we talk about. We're going to talk about some movies. We're going to talk about pro wrestling. I do have something planned in that area within the next week. What else? I'm still going to talk about rock and roll and, you know, and ranking the albums and top 10 songs of bands that I really like. And, but it's going to be things that I haven't already done on Pete's, you know, Sea of Tranquility show.
And I told Jack when he's ready to do some New York Mets discussions, because we both are big Mets fans, then
yes,
I'll definitely show up from time to time. So check it out.
And also, Pete, we were talking about this yesterday. I think I have a great idea for you, but we'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
So everybody, please come check it out. Post comments. You know, I am always open to constructive criticism. I want to make it really good, and that's that. So
Cool.
Thank you in
All
advance.
or Nada, according to Jack. Go check it out and be on the lookout for Rick's album, and visit us on the web at www. I think I said this already. www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Stay tuned for more stuff. Tomorrow is Monday, so we got the Hudson Valley Squares coming up in the Prague Seat on Tuesday. Wednesday is What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility, new album review day. Thursday, the Monsters Den. Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff, and back here once again for album homework assignment next Sunday. So for Jack Toledano, Rick LaBonte, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning with another episode of albums that turned 50 years old in 2022. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.